Well, live. Yeah, I love the idea that soon with the metaverse, we'll have, this 3D printed coffee or something like that. That would be cool.
3D printed Italian coffee. That'd be pretty good.
I think it's still a bit far away, but we'll see. But what is not far away is all of this crypto world. And I want to start with NFTs, because I was just reading, I was waiting for you, and I was reading about the news. Actually, I read about two news. And tell me what you think. First one is that Sarah Jessica Parker, with also Graham Norton in UK. Graham Norton is a very, very famous interviewer on BBC. They launched an NFT for wine. So you basically buy, the idea is that it's not a piece of art, it's a utility NFT. So you buy this NFT and then you can have access to a specific exclusive bottle. And also they've added some random mysterious, and one of those NFT will give you access to a one-to-one wine tasting with Graham Norton, which is cool, if you're a fan. So what do you think about this evolution? Because before was only art, and now I see a lot of different uses for NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. So So I think the concept of just one NFT representing one piece of art is a very, very elementary. It's like that's the NFT 101. That's the very, very beginning. There's so much more use cases with NFT, as you said, utility NFTs, etc. And with wine, you can't do you buy a bottle, or you could buy a bottle of wine, you get a chance to have wine tasting with your favorite star or talk show host. But with NFTs and with digital tokens, it's much easier to do that. You can do black boxes, you can do random draws, and you can also use one NFT can have multiple use cases. So for example, one NFT that you buy may represent a bottle that you can get from a vineyard whenever you want to redeem it, and it can also be used to meet with somebody, a chance to draw to meet with somebody. It can also be used that same NFT could potentially be used as a concert ticket on a specific date in a specific seat, and then you can, and because the NFTs have that history, then it has value. So, not because it has history, has value, but the history adds to the value of it. There are many different use cases that you can play with once you have a digital token. So I think we're just at the beginning. And that NFT can be later on imported into a game. A game developer can say, okay, I'm going to accept this type of NFTs. And in this game, you can have this virtual wine. So it could be the same NFT that used in multiple cases. So the technology allows for it, and the use cases are unlimited. I think it's only limited by our imaginations. We're just at the beginning.
I find also very fascinating, I don't know what you think, the secondary market for that, because maybe I buy this NFT, now I don't know, it's $300 or something like that. Yeah. And then maybe this wine producer start to win a lot of prizes. And then maybe that NFT is 10x value. And if I sell it, of course I get revenues from it. But also they can get it because they can get, the 10% revenue share on with the smart contract. So also this new, let's say, secondary economy, I find it very fascinating. I don't know if you have more data or research or insight about it.
There's not a whole lot of data just yet. I think the whole economy is quite new, so everyone's trying to figure out how does this thing work, what kind of use cases, and I think many use cases are not even designed yet. I mean, let's say you buy that wine NFT that you mentioned, and then later on you pass to maybe you're involved in a game development or something, and then you said, well, I'm gonna put this NFT in a game, other people can earn it. Potentially through the game. So there's a lot more use cases that can be built onto the NFT later on that's not existing yet. So this is the beauty of a blockchainized token. Whereas before, if it's just a bottle of wine, you can't put that you can't transfer that out of that bottle of wine. You finish that bottle of wine, that's it. And also, even if it's a virtual good before, say it's an in-game virtual good, it only stays in one game. But now, because it's an NFT, it's transferable on the blockchain, and it leaves that game environment. It doesn't have to be specific to that game, and it doesn't have to be specific to the artist. So there's so many different use cases we haven't even really imagined.
Also because in this way, with my wallet goes my identity. So every time you can see my wallet and you can understand not only what I like, but I mean, what is my level of expertise, maybe, because maybe I have, 25 NFTs of events, crypto events, and you can say, wow, this guy knows about crypto or about wine. I mean, it can be anything. So it's interesting. I give you the other news that I was reading. I read about this platform, I think Royal.io. They closed a 55 million funding round with Andreessen Horowitz, by the way. And I found it very fascinating because basically what they try to do is going to artists, like a musician, and say, look, you release your music and you keep 80%. You don't go to, I don't know, Universal or no, you keep 80%, and your fans will be part of your music success. They will get royalties too. And they try to be the platform that solve, I imagine, all the tax issues or I mean legal problems and so on. Also, these use I find it very interesting. What do you think?
Absolutely. So I think before you have this, artist, and then their studio, and then they have the fans. The fans, it's a one-way paying street, is what I call it. The fans buy, the artist creations. They buy the music or the movie or whatever, and then the artists share that revenue with the studio. And most of the time, the studio takes quite a large chunk of it, and then the studio takes care of distribution, etc. And there's usually a binding contracts of some kind. But it's a one-way street. Today, now you can have fans which buy your tokens, and then the fans benefit, but the more other fans they can bring in. The more famous you become, the more the token price may increase. And then now the fans are holding the tokens. The fans are holding your tokens. That the more famous they make you, the better they are. So it's now it's a complete circle. So now you have fans who are really your sales guys. The fans are becoming your They become your distribution channels, and they're the best ones because if they like it, most likely their friends will like it. They have friends in that same demographic. So this is a dynamic that wasn't there. So that applies to NFTs. That applies to FTs, like fungible tokens. That also applies to any business that launches a token. So, for example, if you look at like our business exchange, right? So typically, old-fashioned exchange, the traders, they pay a commission, and then that commission goes to the platform. The platform want to maximize the shareholder value, so that they do profit dividends to the shareholders, and that's it. The shareholders, not the users. So now, because we have a token now, now the traders own the token. They hold the token, and then when they bring more friends to use the platform activity goes up, and more people needs that token, and the token value goes up. And then now the users benefit while using your platform, while getting more other users onto your platform. So this is a dynamic that wasn't there before, and this is such a strong growth tool that many people still don't understand.
It's fantastic. I see it now every time that I see like a podcast that is a bit has got a good community. I saw, for instance, Kevin Rose launching now an NFT for his podcast, where it's basically like a member club, like Friends with Benefit or something like that. So basically, you are part of the club, you got the NFT, and you get a lot of benefits. But you are an investor, basically, and not only a subscriber that pays subscription. Do you think also like Netflix or, I mean, these companies will do it in the future and say, look, subscribe with the NFT and that's it? That would change the game.
I think eventually they have to do it. I mean, I think eventually no business can afford not to issue their own coin, just because the level, if they don't. I kind of view, once you have your own token or coin, either it's NFT or fungible token, it increases the interactiveness and also the loyalty of users so much that if your business don't have it, you'll be at a significant disadvantage. I'll probably say that it's probably one of the strongest loyalty programs that you can do, and it just increases user engagement and user stickiness by probably a factor of 10. And any business that doesn't do that will not be able to compete. That includes artists, Netflix, content producers, streamers, and sports fans, etc. So I think pretty soon, I think the more they will see that businesses that generate a token have so much advantage that you can't do this. You will no longer be able to compete without it.
You wouldn't be able to ignore it, basically. Tell me about this Binance NFT marketplace. I was curious about it because maybe the number one objection that I have when I talk with someone about NFT is, yeah, but it's hard. And it's expensive, it's difficult, and then there are the gas fee. Yeah, I go on OpenSea, and then I mean it's ridiculous. So a lot of people, when they see MetaMask and Connect and Wallet, and they say, all right, no, that's it. I mean, it's too much. It's too much. So I wonder if Binance NFT marketplace try to solve some of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely want to try to solve some of those issues, and so this is why we engineered our NFT marketplace to be a little bit different. OpenSea is an on-chain, decentralized NFT marketplace, meaning that the users have to use their own wallets, etc. Binance.com is one of the largest custodian exchanges. We hold custody of people's assets. And for that reason, we engineered the NFT market to be the same. So you don't have to manage your own wallets, etc. You just log in with a username and password, and now boom, you have your account and there's NFTs. That is a much easier way for most people. For the crypto OGs, for the techies, they want to control their own wallet. They have to do their own backups. They do their own encryption. If they lose their laptops, they lose all of the NFTs. If their laptops get a virus, they lose all of it. So that part is significantly simplified if you use Binance, use the Binance NFT marketplace. It's a very familiar username, password, 2FA, etc. And then on creation, etc., we also try to make that easy. So there are tools to help people to create NFTs without knowing too much of the underlying technologies. This is like you can drive a car without knowing how engines work. You just got to know where the gas pedal and brakes are. So you only need to know a few different, very simple things. Right. You still have to learn a little bit, but it's much simpler. And then on the gas fees, we do promote Binance Smart Chain, BSC, very hard. BSC is much, much cheaper. A NFT transaction to transfer some NFT to another party today will probably cost you $100 or more because of the complexity of the smart contracts. On Binance Smart Chain, it's a few cents. So right. We significantly reduce that barrier. So yeah, we do try to do a number of those things. And for those reasons, we have seen the Binance NFT marketplace taking off quite rapidly. The user growth is quite strong. So we to some of the sort of crypto diehards, they think that centralized platforms are not great. But for 90% of the users, this is much easier to use.
Is it live and available everywhere, or only in specific countries at the moment?
Yes, it's actually it's live. It's basically available in everywhere except the US. So Binance.com does not accept US users. That's really the only country that's not available. But for most of Europe, for all of Europe, for most parts of the rest of the world, it's fully available. It's fully live.
And how does it work when I buy an NFT on the Binance NFT marketplace with interoperability? Can I then go and resell it on OpenSea, or I'm constrained into your ecosystem?
So we are an open platform that we support both Ethereum-based NFTs and Binance Smart Chain-based NFTs. So if you buy an Ethereum-based NFT, you can resell it on OpenSea. OpenSea, though, today only supports Ethereum. So if you buy an NFT, BSC platform NFT, then you can't transfer it there. Not because we don't let you. It's that right. OpenSea only supports one platform. We support both. So we actually support more than one blockchain. OpenSea is only on Ethereum. We support NFTs on other blockchains as well. So we always maintain to be the open platform. We don't try to lock people into one space. We feel that's not a sort of a decentralized model. That's not how crypto works.
Got it. I would love to move into your Lazio sponsorship partnership. I was curious how did it start? I mean, you woke up one day and said, you know what, I should sponsor Lazio football. I don't know. To me, it sounds really interesting.
So So the honest truth is, I woke up one day and my team says we're gonna work with Lazio, and the contract's pretty much already signed. So and now we're working with Lazio, and we're going live tomorrow. And then the next day I woke up and I see on Twitter that Lazio's jersey has the Binance name on it. It's like, great. So so at Binance now, I'm not involved in a lot, especially on the new businesses, the day-to-day operations of it. We have very strong teams, and each team run fairly independently. They have a lot of autonomy to go and do what they think is going to make the business grow. And we hold them accountable for results, but we hold them at a very high ethical standard. As long as they follow, they operate within those parameters, they have a lot of freedom to do so. So Lazio's sports fan tokens is driven by one of our teams, and the team just went out there. They said, "Look, this is a big market now. We want to be supportive in this space." And for the teams working with Binance, they get access to the largest user base, the largest liquidity, and they typically will get the largest valuations, etc. So because of the large number of users we have, like a team that issues tokens with Binance will typically have much better liquidity and thus typically much better prices or much better market cap. So to be honest, it wasn't my idea. I said, "Look, guys, go for it." And then one day I woke up, they said, "Hey, boss, it's ready." Like, I didn't do much.
Probably the biz dev guy or girl was a big Lazio fan, and they say, "Let's go with Lazio," Otherwise, you would have a different team. But stay there 1 second. So it's not only a simple sponsorship where you pay and then you get the name there, good luck and everything. No, the team also has a token, and if I'm a fan, I can buy a token. How does it work?
Yeah, so it's so the team issues a token, and the token is a sports fan token. It does not represent equity. It's not a security. Excuse me. It doesn't represent ownership in the team.
Right.
But the fans who hold that token have certain rights. You can vote for the jersey colors that they're gonna wear for that nice match. You can vote them in the Binance app or online.
Right.
You can vote for the music that the team goes in. You can vote for the bus color that they travel in. You can vote for you can vote for all kind of stuff. You can vote for what kind of for other sport, what kind of shoes they wear, what kind of socks. You can do a lot of this kind of stuff. And in addition to voting, there's a lot of user engagement built in, and that will be built in the future. So some of the simple ones is you can, as you said, you can have a lucky draw, and you may be able to meet some of the team in person. You may have backstage, you may have locker room access if you win or get a certain collection of tokens. You can participate in a practice with them. So there's many use, and then you can use of course you can use the token hopefully to buy tickets into the arena, and you can so there's so many different things that you could do with a token that's not. Many of them have not even built yet, but the teams are committed to work with us to build those use cases for them together. So we are working on the technology part and product parts of it, and so this is a new way for sports teams to realize value out of their fans. And the fans, as I explained before, now they're not just paying for it. So before the fans pay for it, the sports team give the revenue to the shareholders. But now the fans hold this token. The more users, the more friends they can get to participate in this ecosystem to follow the sports teams, the more their friends will need this token. That they have to buy it, and if they buy it, then the price, more people buy it, and the price typically will go up. So now the fans become part of the ecosystem. They benefit directly financially from if the teams do well, if they get more fans into the team. So this is a dynamic that's really, really interesting, to the point where the fan tokens itself are the market cap for the fan tokens are typically now higher than the team's worth itself. So, which in my opinion is a little bit crazy, but we'll see. I think the traditional way of just getting tickets, selling tickets to your matches and monetizing on that is a very old way of thinking about sports. I think now, given the crypto economy, the whole way of monetizing, the whole business model, the whole community model is going to be changed.
Do you think classic topic about regulation? I try to think about what in the comments people will say the buts. Yeah, but. So the classic but is regulation. My feeling now is that in US, for instance, Bitcoin will not be banned. All right, so we know that now. So Bitcoin is going good. I read a news today from India where they want to ban several cryptocurrencies. They want to have their own digital currency. I think this is like will be probably a trend. What about also these tokens? I mean, do you see regulation coming in, or is something that is you don't see any problem with that?
I think currently today there's not a whole lot of regulations on sports fan tokens because it's so new.
Right.
I think it only it was engineered in the last couple of years, and then it only took off recently. With sports fan tokens, there's a few advantages. It's not like anyone can issue a sports fan token. Typically, we work with sports clubs that have millions and millions of followers. Yeah. And have hundreds of millions in valuations already, and they're like, these are like large businesses. These are large sports enterprises. So it's not like we're not sponsoring like a high school team or like or in the future it's conceivable that you can sponsor like a community team, but nobody like
probably Boy Scout
yeah, but I don't know how much those tokens are going to be worth. Probably not in the millions of dollars. Nobody knows. But today we're working with very large teams who are very reputable. Like this are top tier top tier professional teams. So these are real businesses, and they have real like millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of followers. So these are not just some new guy, some new team on the block that just raises millions and millions of dollars. Sure. So the chance of them being complete scams are very, very low. The tokens may or may not be successful, to be honest. It's not guaranteed that the token price will go up. Some teams do perform worse and worse over time, and then the fans may still lose money, but it's unlikely. And most of these teams have like teams of lawyers. They have like compliance teams. They have like this is not so. In that view, sports teams issuing tokens has much less risk for consumers than other sort of newer businesses. So where regulations kick in, probably, but let's see what happens. I actually don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there are massive companies and corporations that they are huge business. I was curious about business and crypto investments, because, for instance, here in UK, I remember like during the summer, one of our startup, following Michael Saylor example, said, "All right, let's move some balance sheet into Bitcoin." And I don't remember the bank. The bank said, "Oh no, we don't move money into exchange. That's really dangerous." So there was really like a friction to say, "Yeah, but we want to move it. We know exactly what we're doing. So why a bank doesn't allow me to move my money to an exchange?" What's the situation? What's going on there? Because obviously, as soon as it's easy for business to move a percentage of their balance sheet, I would say that a lot of companies will move money. But at this stage, my feeling is that it is a bit tricky all the time. It's not frictionless to do it.
Yeah, so I think many banks today don't work with crypto exchanges. That's a fact. But luckily, many banks do. So if you look at the US, there are a number of banks that work with crypto exchanges really well. And to the point where there's a protocol called ACH. If you integrate with ACH, the cryptocurrency exchange like Binance US, Coinbase can automatically deduct from the user's bank accounts every month. So that is already integrated to that level. So US is actually the most progressive in terms of banking support for cryptocurrency exchanges. Given that there's still a large number of banks who do not work with cryptocurrency exchanges, they view that as they view that as unsafe, etc. But we got to ask the question: should the banks have power to say you're not allowed to transact with somebody they deem you should not transact? Do you want to use a bank like that? I think that's a question as every consumer we should ask ourselves, and especially for companies. If it's a company treasury, if it's a company CFO, you would think that they're financially literate. So this is not like some retail guy that's just getting some random advice. A treasury management of a company is probably, we can probably assume that they are a pretty qualified accredited investor. And why does banks tell you how your company manage your treasury? And if crypto goes up in price, let's say like if your friends try to do it this summer, the price is probably around like, I don't know, $10,000-$20,000 per $30,000 per Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin's $60,000. Do the banks give you the difference that you lost?
Yeah.
Right. So like, look, I'll
ask my team to sue the bank for the difference then of this much.
Right. So the bank said, we're going to protect you, we're going to prevent you from doing this, but do they take responsibility for it? If this thing that you wanted to invest actually grows in price, do they take the responsibility? No. If it goes down, if you buy and it goes down, do they take responsibility? No, they don't. But they prevent you from doing that. So everybody could have a different view, like if that's right or wrong. And I don't really. Different countries have different levels of permissions on what banks are allowed or not allowed to do. But fundamentally, consumers also have a choice. You can choose not to use that bank. So I think the more mature and the more opportunities and the more people benefit from using crypto and they lose out from not being prevented from accessing crypto, then they will learn that they will not use those banks, right? So so I think basically it's a judgment call. I think everyone can make their own judgment. And for people who do want to invest in crypto is highly risky, highly volatile. But guess what? Everything else is also highly risky, highly volatile. So everywhere you do, in crypto or outside crypto, you got to manage your risks carefully. So I think people can choose which banks they should use. Yeah.
Definitely. I remember, of course, that this is not financial advice and blah, 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 yada, 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 all the things. So if you want to invest your money, do your due diligence first. I was curious to finish this conversation about your personal situation. When did it all start? Because you, Michael Saylor, Pomp, Winklevoss, I mean, there are, like Novograds, I don't know, there are 5-10 people in the crypto world that are like superstar, like the the Rolling Stones of the crypto world. When did it all start? And do you notice now before and after, when you go to an event, when you walk, maybe people recognize, and before was not like that? How did it work?
Yeah. So I think Winklevoss brothers probably started the earliest out of all the people you mentioned. I think they started somewhere around 2011. I started around 2013, mid 2013. I got introduced to Bitcoin, and I learned about it. I was fascinated. I quit my job. I sold my house to go into this crypto. So I sold my house.
What were you doing before?
I was also running an IT startup. The company's actually still there, but not a huge company, but kind of does okay. So I came in around 2013. 2013, it's called the Bitcoin industry. So people don't talk about blockchains. People don't talk about other things. It's just the Bitcoin industry. So end of 2013, I said, okay, I'm going to go all in. So I sold my house, bought Bitcoin, and then at the same time quit my job, looking for a new job in the crypto industry. But I can take those kind of risks because I feel comfortable that if things don't work out, I can always go back to the traditional financial industry and get a job at a bank. So for me, I manage my risks. It looks very risky for most people, but I have a fallback. So my risk is limited. I think the other guys probably like Pomp, they probably come in a little bit later, 2017, 2015, 2017-ish. I know Michael Saylor came in this year. So Michael Saylor learned about Bitcoin in April this year. So he learned within a few months, but once that light switch turns on, once you convert it, you fully convert it. So he got converted very quickly, and he's taking all of his company's assets into crypto, into Bitcoin specifically. So that's a choice. There are risks, but he probably I think he has a way to manage that risk. And he's a billionaire, so even if Bitcoin drops by a lot, he'll be fine.
It's still good.
Yeah, he's still good. So different people come in at different times. You do notice a number of differences compared to before. So in 2013, it was very small. I go to a Bitcoin conference, and the entire conference is like 200 people, and and you go to a few different conferences in different parts of the world. It's the same crew. Vitalik was there, Charlie Lee was there, Matt Rosick was there. So it's the same crew. In 2017, in 2017 alone, in one city in Shanghai, in July, there were 6 conferences. Each conference was more than 3,000 people. Wow. Today, we are not able to have a lot of conferences, but even 2 years ago, if I interact with somebody, I say, like, hey, I gotta pay somebody, buy something for me, I gotta pay some guy. And 2 years ago, it'd be kind of awkward to say, hey, can I pay you in crypto? Like today, some guy wants to sell me some wine. I say, okay, fine, great, I'll buy the wine. But can I pay you in crypto? The guy said, like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. So today, the acceptance of crypto is much, much wider now. So you see that kind of transformation in the industry. So it's great to see.
And how about you? Do you have people managing your personal brand, or are you still alone tweeting and or because now, I mean, you have a huge following. So I wonder how you manage it.
So I do 99% of my tweets myself. My team do have access to my Twitter account. In the case, like if I'm on a flight and they want to retweet something, my team usually does most of the retweets. Like if Binance.com tweets something and then they retweet. Most of the controversial tweets are done by myself, and I also don't check with the team beforehand. I just just gotta go, like efficiency, right? If I check all my tweets with my team, it's gonna take a huge amount of time. So Instagram, I also do. I don't do much Instagram, but I give my team account to my team, and then immediately my account got locked because I think of the security measures they have, which is good. Took me a while to get it back. So I do most of it myself, but my team do help. My team also sends me like, hey, CZ, this tweet. Elon Musk just tweeted at you. You might want to respond to this. So my team helps me in that regard, and they sometimes even suggest how I should tweet a response. But most of it, yeah, I would say I do most of it. My team do help though.
I would say that you have to learn a lot of things from Elon Musk. We all have to learn a lot of things, but not about Twitter, because on Twitter he only does, these crazy flames.
No, but to be honest, if you look at the results, he has like 64 million followers, right? So
Impressive.
So from that perspective, we may all have a lot to learn from him, even from Twitter.
I was trying to find at least one thing that Elon does wrong, but I mean, it's Elon, so nothing to say. Today, I think he's launching something to destroy a meteor in case of attack. He's doing one of his incredible things. Fantastic. Cizi, it was such a pleasure to chat with you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Monty. A pleasure. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.